Every artist has that old drawing that they used to be super proud of, and for me, I have many, but today's focus are going to be these two. Hi, I'm Bug, and welcome back to my channel. If you like stuff like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe. To make things easier, we're just going to be calling these two drawings Crystal Girl and Poison Girl. So let's get right to it. Let's start off with Crystal Girl. What is wrong with her? On its own, this drawing isn't inherently bad, but based on how far my art has come, it could be a lot better. For starters, it's very simple. Very, very simple. There's not a lot going on here. There's not a lot of colors. Her body is mostly white with just some highlights and shadows and some blue accents. And then the crystals are just straight up purple, and then her blood, I made it pink because I don't know, I guess I just wanted it to be more cutesy. But yeah, so we need to add more color. And we need to make things a lot more detailed and fix the vibrancy of those crystals. For context on why these drawings are so gory and edgy, it's because I originally drew them for Goretober in 2023, which also officially makes these drawings almost 2 years old, which is pretty long for a redraw. But I figured that my style has improved so much over these 2 years that it would make a really interesting YouTube video. So here we are. I know that her nose is not the same in this redraw. It is not curved like the original nose was. I know, I'm aware. I couldn't make it curved. It was too hard, it was too confusing. Cut me some slack. It's very clear throughout this entire time-lapse that I struggled a lot with her anatomy. I struggled with the size of things. I struggled with making her neck look right and turning her head at a right angle. So in the end, she looks pretty weird. In the original drawing, she was purple, but it wasn't very clear where that purple light was coming from. It was implied that it was coming from the crystals, but that wasn't very clear and it didn't translate well. So in this one, I made it more obvious where that light was coming from so that I could keep that purple color scheme while also making it feel more realistic and more, I guess, easier to understand. Alongside that, I also went ahead and changed her blood from pink to red, but around the crystals, I made it more transparent, so it was like a pinker color with that purple shining through it. So I could keep some of the original drawing, but also making it more realistic. Overall, this drawing is definitely not perfect, but I did achieve what I wanted to, so I would say it's a win. But what about Poison Girl? So, just like the other one, this drawing also isn't horrible on its own as it is now, but there are a lot of mistakes that need improving. For instance, this tongue. It looks like her lip, and it looks like the poison is pouring out and going underneath her lip. That is not how gravity works. That is not how goo or water or anything works. That was supposed to be her tongue. It was supposed to, you know, but it doesn't look like her tongue, and I need to fix that. Other than that, come on. It's very clear that I used the tool, the symmetry ruler, on this drawing. And because of that, these eyelids are very, very strange, very weird eyelids. Looks like I drew a little clown face. Also, these ears are huge. They're huge. I don't know why I made them that big, but they're huge. Similar with Poison Girl, this girl is also one color. She is just straight up pink, and she only has some purple highlights. I do like what I did with the eyes, though. I like that I put little X's in the eyes to signify that she was being poisoned and she was about to die. Other than that, I don't like anything, other than, this is just not a great drawing. I wanted to keep the pose and feeling around the same as the original with this drawing, but I didn't want it to look bad, so I mostly used the symmetry tool, but I also turned it off for a lot of little details so that it didn't look completely like a mirror. I mostly turned it off for things like her hair and stuff. I know a lot of artists shame the symmetry tool and the use of it and say that it's lazy to use it, but my art, my rules, and also I'm only really redrawing her for the YouTube video, so why not take a little hack and make things easier for myself. Since this girl is being poisoned, I wanted her to look kind of dead. I didn't know how to really translate that into a drawing, so the best I could do was make her skin really gray and kind of lifeless, and make her eyes really dull and lifeless as well, while also like giving her a deadpan stare. Like she's I wanted it to feel like she was looking at the audience while also not really looking at anything, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. I don't think it does, but you know, you get it. Just like with the purple lighting, this girl was fully pink, and I wanted to stay true to that, but the light needs to be coming from somewhere, and I didn't want to just make her pink for no reason. So I made it so that the light source was coming from up above her to the right, and shining down on her so that I could add some interesting blue shadows by her nose and under her head. I think it looks pretty okay. The thing I struggled with the most with this drawing was definitely the ears. First, they were too big, then they were too small, then they were too big again, and they were in the wrong spot at one point, so there was a lot of rearranging the ears and redrawing the ears, and the symmetry tool was not making things easier for me because I would move one ear and now the other one was in the wrong spot, and it would just, you know, it was just a huge mess. You might have noticed with both of these drawings that I did not record the second half of the drawings, the coloring part. I didn't film it. So I added speed paints instead of the coloring part. For the first one, I simply forgot to record it, and the second one, I just didn't feel like it, so I didn't do it. By the time I added the shadows and the highlights, I realized that the drawing was looking really, really plain because there wasn't a lot to add to it from the original. So I went ahead and added some lines, interesting lines in the shadows to bring out that color some more and add some contrast to the pink. And I also added some interesting little swirls and some stuff in the background. Overall, I think this drawing is a huge improvement from the first one. I don't think I messed up too bad on this one. I really, really, really love her teeth. I drew the teeth so perfect. Yes, the symmetry tool did help me, but come on, it looks so good. And you can actually tell what is going on with her anatomy around her mouth. You're not mistaking her lips for her tongue anymore. I think I did fantastic. But anyways, that brings us to the end of this video. Here are the side-by-sides. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Bye.